Everybody spend.
Yes, thank you so much.
Ndio wewe, hakuna mwingine kabisa. amashanyarazi entindo zono zikozire enzijoka ziringa ubuzima we bari muno nawe kiyunga na China na familia yangu tatu na mama na sweto ya kwetu stepu tena sasa sasa ilikuwa na ugamba wanashiwa mshizo wa kireni ma tutakaba huko bashira kama imekera tutakutunga mama but we are now on front seats English Musema noye tunakutana sana
What is what?
Wow, beautiful music. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, both our online audience and the audience with us here live at Plot 10 Chadondo Road. We appreciate the fact that you've taken off 2 hours to join this very productive lecture. I'm Don Vincent Buana, and without wasting time, we're a few minutes into our time. Our usual time is 3:30 to 5. I'd want to thank the Almighty God for this day. Today, our topic is the success of the NRM in emancipation of women and PW's empowerment. I have no capacity to invite our guest speaker in the house, but with all protocol observed, I would want to respect and recognize our directors in the house and our chief guest. Allow me to take this time and invite our chairperson of the Electoral Commission, Dr. Professor Tango Doi. Please, let's invite Dr. Tango Doi to come on the platform. And as he comes, I would recognize Recess Saloon Operators National Association. It's a SACCO. You're most welcome, my brothers and sisters. Looking smart and great. Doctor, please.
Thank you very much, our Master of Ceremony. Colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to take this singular honor to welcome you to the 11th Weekly Dialogue Clinic, Ideological Clinic of the NRM. I can see more guests taking seats. May I also request staff to take their seats so that we start in an orderly manner. The staff who are still coming, could you come and take your seats so that I start the presentation when we are settled. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to take this honor as the chair of the session to introduce the senior colleagues who have arrived so far. Our guests, allow me to introduce to you people you know quite well, but protocol demands that I do that. Allow me to introduce Honorable John Arim Pakijaji, the Vice Chair of NRM Electoral Commission. With us also we have another senior colleague, Honorable Jane Babiha Al-Semera, the Commissioner in NRM Electoral Commission. Then we have the money lady, the one who oils the wheel, the Director of Finance and Administration, Hajat Medina Reham. We have our public relations boss, assistant. I don't know why I call him assistant. He's known as Rogers Mulindwa. He's published here. Madam, in front of you, we have Recessi Saloon Operators National Association Circle. Avoidance of doubt, could you just stand up first? Stand. Madam, they are here. They are in their uniform. Next time we shall also color them with our yellow. You're most welcome. Here we have staff, madam. Our staff, could you all stand up for recognition? Then we have our student guests, students and youth guests, who always come along. They'll introduce themselves severally, but I want to introduce them generally. Could you also stand up for recognition, guests? You can see the age. That attracts everyone to talk because they are listeners. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 11th Weekly Ideological Clinic. The topic for discussion is NRM success in the women emancipation and empowerment of persons with disability ever since 1986. The topic, NRM success in women empowerment, women emancipation and empowerment of persons with disability ever since 1986. The topic takes or recognizes the fact that the party has responded to the issue of the underprivileged, traditionally underprivileged people, the women and persons with disability. The topic wants to share, the person wants to share with us the success in the line of women emancipation and empowerment with people or persons with disability ever since 1986. I'm sure the Secretary General would have loved to be here, but he was sharing iPod this morning. I don't know whether he has come from iPod, and others who will come, I will introduce them. The person to present this topic needs a rousing welcome. Can we welcome the person before I read the CV? A short biodata of the person to present this topic is none other than retired Major Gertrude Nanyunja Juba. Gertrude Njuba, Mama, as we call her, was an income tax officer in the former East African community. Those who know East African community collapsed finally in 1977. He was a deputy minister for rehabilitation in the NRM post-war government. She was a director for mass organizations in the NRM secretariat. She was a deputy chair of NRM Electoral Commission. She is currently the Senior Presidential Advisor on Political Affairs and Director for Land Matters in State House. Ladies and gentlemen, that is not all. It's not by coincidence that I'm sharing this paper. It's by choice that I share this paper of a senior person who has also been a deputy chair of NRM Electoral Commission, a person who will tell you all about elections if you want that topic to be placed on the table. Retired Major Gertrude Njuba has other activities in her participatory line. First of all, and very significantly, she participated in the NRM Armed Liberation Struggle. That's not sounding enough. Could you clap for that one more? He was also a captain of the NRA and now retired major of UPDF. Without reading her biodata, allow me as the chair of the session to improve this CV with my own experience with Honorable Njuba as Dr. Tango Doi. Honorable Njuba, I was graced to teach your children in Shibuli Secondary School. You wanted to teach, if you wanted to teach children of a fighter, but who are very, very nice children, some of them came from Honorable Njuba's home. If you talked about me in your house, they will tell you Jama. My name was Jama. They did not Tango Doi, they would say Jama and they would start running. Honorable Njuba also gave us a daughter who was the first guild president, female, of Makerere University. And at that time, I was already in the NRM echelons at the university as a lecturer way back in the 1980s. 1999 became a lecturer in 1990 in Makerere. I joined Makerere in 1984, and I didn't leave Makerere up to today. So Honorable Njuba, we are blessed to have you here. The other thing about Honorable Njuba is that of the leaders of NRM and NRA who almost follow in the footsteps of President Museveni, not getting annoyed and welcoming new people into the movement. Honorable Njuba did a lot of that work when she was director of the mass organization. I know it because we interacted with her at different levels. She was recruiting for the NRM at different levels and other political attributes. Allow me to take this singular honor and with respect, Madam, to invite you to present your paper. It is now my humble request that you all in academia stand for the professor of respect. The professor of respect is going to be presenting a paper, and before she starts, we must all stand and clap for her as she comes. You are sure each other to sit or to stand. You're going to sit. You may take your resume your seats.
Thank you very much, Dr. Tango Doi. I beg to be excused so that I address you seated. Those who saw me coming in will understand why. And also that history there has covered some 77 years. Therefore, I need my legs to rest a bit. Thank you very much. Dear leaders of our NRM Secretariat, members, all protocol observed. I'm really very grateful, Dr. Tango Doi, to be invited here to share with you some things, some topics. I had not heard about this forum, but I think it's going to be a very good forum remain, and especially since it's also a clinic, it is good to call it a clinic because as we see all, our community in Uganda, especially when it comes to political issues, we seem to be getting sick. Maybe it is good that the secretary said, hey, we are getting sick, let us take some pills so that we prevent ourselves from falling completely sick. We need to remind ourselves, we need to learn new things. So I'm very grateful for this. You called upon me to deliver my paper, but I don't have a paper, Dr. I don't have a paper. First, because you gave me very little time. And my present assignment doesn't give me much time to rest. So if I'm going to deliver paper, I need a longer period. I deal with land disputes. So I think you know what it means. Reading and writing and counseling. And sometimes I use my stick when they become very unruly. So I'm really happy to be here. I'm also happy, as you said, the first NRM Electoral Commission was headed by Dr. Rugunda, and I was the vice chairperson. So that's how I started. Well, it wasn't the first time I served in the secretariat, because as he said, I was in the secretariat as a director for mass organizations. Some people used to say mobilization, but no, mass organization. My assignment was to deal with people who live or exist in the mass nature, the teachers, the youth, those people who do their things collectively, in mass manner. So those were the ones I was taking care of. And as far as introducing the movement to them, or recruiting them in the movement, or discussing things about the NRM, the National Resistance Movement. As you know, the NRM, some of you may know, others may not, so I better mention. We call ourselves a movement. Deliberately, it's not just a name. We are not just a political party. We are a political group, but some of the things that political parties do or don't do, for us, maybe we do or we don't. You understand? Because ours was a movement. A movement usually forms when there is an error that brings certain, usually there are problems. And these problems affect people wherever they are. And they begin to want to organize against such problems. But they organize wherever they are. You find that people are organizing to do this in that place, in that place, in that place. Like the women movement. When women had been mishandled for several million years, they decided from wherever they were in different countries to say, no, enough is enough. We need to be treated like people and like mothers of the world. So it's a movement. It's not you can't say women's party, it's a movement. People organize themselves from wherever they are. So when in Uganda the political situation became terribly bad, people decided to do something about it. And we were deciding in small groups. What turned out to be NRM were the groups that eventually looked for leadership in the person of Yoweri Museveni, who had already led a group called Fronasa. So we are a movement because we were not summoned by someone. Everybody just got disgusted, and everybody said, I'm going to do something about it. And then we came together, depending on interests. Some people, of course, followed other leaders. Some of us followed Yoweri Museveni, who was a young man then, and we have lived not to regret, because we have seen ourselves move, not only this country, but the continent and maybe the world. We think we have made a difference. We think we have made a difference. From the very beginning, the NRM, which was Social Resistance Army Society, NRM, we changed to NRM after coming together with various other groups. From the beginning, we knew that we needed to be a mass party, a broad-based party, a party that was all embracing. We didn't care what your religion was, where you came from, whether you went to school, you are Dr. Tangodoy, or whether you are a peasant who has never seen a blackboard. We needed everybody. So we were a mass movement, and that's what has helped us to succeed. Now, because we were a mass movement, and the biggest mass on the planet are women. Women, therefore, from the beginning, did play a very important role in feeding our army, because we started mainly as an army that took care of politics also. Why did we start as an army? Because we started as an armed struggle group. Therefore, we had to be trained in military affairs, but these were military affairs that included politics as a big part of the army. So women from the beginning were very important. When we were in the forest, if you went to a forest without convincing the lady of the house, the owner of the forest, the owners of the family that owns the forest, if the lady was not in your favor, usually we never say no. We would be chased out quickly. Yes, but when the women of the family were for us, usually they suppressed the male and we remained safely. So that was something that we mobilized very quickly. So when you go to mobilize, you want to use a certain forest as you are aboard, you know that you have to send some people to let the women of the area welcome you. Okay. Because as you know, we are created to welcome. When we reject you, you are finished. We welcome, and when we reject you, and when we reject you, we reject you. We can be very lethal, although we look weak. So, because of the history of the world, where women have been treated with a lot of contempt, we had to make special arrangements to do affirmative action. And this was done in the bush, and it was taken over by the government of the NRM. And it has been so since. All people who are disadvantaged, like the youth, in most of our communities, the youth are not listened to. Like the disabled, who sometimes are not even allowed to come to greet visitors. They are disabled people who are always in the back of the house. They are not allowed to mix among people. we have the children. And more recently, we looked at the elderly. Before, we didn't look very much at the elderly. Maybe because also the leadership of NRM was still youthful, and we didn't know the care and the need that the elders need, must be given to also move and continue contributing. Now, as I am, I can testify that the biggest disease in the world is old age. Because with other diseases, you treat yourself with faith, and you know the chances are you will become better. You will get cured. But this is a disease where every day you get worse. So recently, we have started looking at the elders. They need help, they need our assistance, and they have contributed a lot. By the time we get here, the people who have looked after us to come here need our assistance. So that issue of affirmative action has been one of the cornerstones of NRM's philosophy. And I think we've done it very well. We've done it very well. Look at our government today. Look at the cabinet. And you will see that it's not a cabinet like any other on the continent. I don't know about the other places, I don't know. But you guys were being ruled by or governed by women. and that's an achievement, because the reason homes are stable and homes are places where we always go when things are at their worst is because at home, the manager, the big manager is the woman. So now that our country is getting more and more being led by the female, I think things are going to get better. That's what we do. So the issue of whether we have done a good job, you look at our leadership in companies, in NGOs, in the government, even in the church. The church was very conservative. They didn't accept women very easily. But now most religions do accept women in leadership. And we are doing a good job. Now, when I was given this topic, Dr. Doyle, I got worried. I said, these people want me also again to go in history. It's important for us to know the history. I don't think people have talked to you about our history. But when I looked at it again, I said, no, it's since 1986. So it means they are taking me from where we took over government up to now. But I want to dwell on the future. I want to dwell on the future because right now we have achieved so much in terms of democracy, human rights. We've treated the human rights with such gloved hands that we are now bordering on anarchy, unfortunately. So maybe we need to tighten a little bit. So because people with too much liberty, you can have so much liberty that you self-destruct. This is what is happening to us. We have copied countries which are now getting destroyed. They are destroying themselves because of liberty. By the way, this disease that has been torturing us has showed us who is weak. Is it the African or the other people who think they have advanced so much? It seems they have advanced and they have lived such a comfortable life that they are no longer able to fight disease or small, those small things that are bothering us. I think the Africans have shown that this fraud we can do very well. can do very well. So we are doing a good job. Where we have not done a good job, and this is where I want us to go when you start discussing, is on the economy side. Now, and maybe the reason we haven't done so well is that the women have lagged behind a bit. They're trying hard. You go to the markets, you go to you go to the Birombe now. I'm a gold miner by the way. Women. We have mines, and the chairman has cut something for us, the small miners. So when you come from here, don't go and say you have nowhere to put our money. There is a place where you can go and mine. That one will be another topic. I have remembered the mining because you go to the mines and you find that women are trying hard. They come to the mines and they do that hard work with their children on the back and others who need to be fed, but they still go there and do mining. And that's where you can see that mining is going to succeed. If there were no women there, you would know for sure that this is a dying industry. When you see that an industry does not include women, you know it is a matter of time it will die. But in other areas, the markets, the what we are trying, but we need assistance. We need legitimate assistance. We are not beggars, but since this is the headquarters of the party in power, the movement in power, I want to tell you that this economy cannot move the way we are moving now, because we are leaving everybody to struggle of their own. Even when we have tried to put together some money, the way it is distributed leaves a lot to be desired. Because we go and give money to people and they get married instead of using it. And the organizations whose duty it is to fund projects, to fund business, do not want to touch certain areas. Like I said, I mean, mining is one of them. No commercial bank here will touch mining. And yet, as the government, the thing that would help us even get rid of our debts, the debt burden now is getting very, very high. The only thing that I see that can bring us out of that thing is mining, because we are now with a lot of minerals, but you need a lot of money to start. Even if you think other areas, you need a lot of money to start. But government and people with money can always find a way of protecting their funds through supervising and making sure that the money goes to the right person. The money doesn't go to the best friend, but it goes to that person who has shown seriousness in the industry in which we are trying to help people to start. If we don't, all our forests will be taken by whites. Let me call them whites because they are east-west. They are surrounding us, as you know. And they are very happy to take everything. If they could use COVID to erase us from the planet, they would. But we refuse to go. Now, if we refuse to go, let us also refuse to continue taking loans. And these loans, my dear friend, ladies, most of these loans don't come to ladies. But we are the majority, whether you like it or not. Nature has ensured that there are more mothers on the planet than fathers in numbers. Now, if the loans don't come to us, and you give the loans to the minority, yes? The loans are not going to work. Also, for that minority is always needs to be Yes, if you don't talk to them, they will drink the money. They will give it away. For us, we know we don't give you money. We might loan money, unless you need to. Yeah. But a man will give a girlfriend money after getting it for the business. Am I telling lies? Huh? That's true. So, like I said, I'm talking about this emancipation, and I'm saying the women are ready. They are more than ready. They were ready a long time ago. But we need to inject something. We need also to sit down, the educated people, sit down and help the less educated to see where the best, where is the best industry to place. Well, sometimes it's not easy to tell. Sometimes you see something as good, but there are problems coming. Like now, we are trying to invest in oil, the time for oil is ending. You see what I mean? But the educated people, it's your duty to guide the government and guide the less educated. When things are coming, you are supposed to see far. We should not enter something as it goes out. Right now, actually, the Secretariat, here we talk our minds.
Yes.
Right now, I see us getting excited about standard gauge rail. The world is moving ahead of us. Why do we have to go through that standard? Can't we skip? And we go to this the first, we call it fast speed, whatever.
Right.
Yes, those trains. And we go to value corridors where the railway line is not alone just passing through deserts. We don't want to go and build a railway line. No. But I suspect that our ministry is still convinced we need to build a railway line. We don't want a railway line. We want a corridor where the railway line is, first of all, it should be across Africa, right? Something to join Africa. The reason we are not trading between each other is because our transport is very difficult. You want to go to an African country, you take a plane to Europe. Then from Europe, you come back to Africa. Is that the situation? So, the businessmen, the educated, the government leaders, especially the professionals, the people who assist the politicians. Because politicians are politicians, they come and go. But we have commissioners. Those commissioners are professionals. We are relying on you. Don't go in the office and you are the commissioner and you start every day saying standing orders, standing orders. These standing orders the commissioners got were left there by colonialists. Do you think colonialists want you to advance and maybe bypass them when you are their principal market, when you are their principal supplier of raw materials? They don't want. We need to look at all those, look at them and see where we don't need certain things. We throw them away. We throw them away. We should examine things, including religion. We want to go to heaven.
Yes.
But before we go to heaven, God has put us here. We are human beings. Eh? But even animals change. We were animals, we changed. But when we became humans, we stagnated. Eh? As it was in the beginning, so is now, world without end. First of all, the world will have an end. We end every day. Every day the world has an end for something. Eh? So we need to look at things and see, this one is helping me to be closer to God. But this one is no. This one was in the interest of the poor or the the Archbishop of Canterbury or the what. This one is not in the interest of Africa. The other thing I would like to mention is we are here as leaders. Youth, yes, but these are youth leaders, I suppose. Youth leaders. We must stop thinking at the level of Uganda. Of course, I have started with Uganda. That means thinking about yourself, your family, your tribe, your that. That one is the best way for us to be extinct. These guys don't want us to be with them on the planet. Why? Because for some reason, I don't know why nature did, nature went and put a lot of riches on this continent. They need the continent. They don't have the population. One child per family. So that's what is there. And therefore they come here and also tell you, if you have 3 children, you have too many. Young men and women who are here, yeah, I need my children, my grandchildren. I need my grandchildren. Don't stop them from coming. They must come here, and Africa is not yet full. And when I lay my table for eating, I want a full table. I don't want a table that is lonely. You sit there and no, I need people to bother me in my old age. Because if they don't bother me, I will sit there and feel useless. The issue of population is not a revolutionary, no, it's not a revolutionary thing. Reducing the population. All these things you see, COVID, what is that an effort by someone to reduce the what? Fortunately, nature has refused. We are producing more children than we are losing, even under COVID. So since I can no longer contribute in that field, I call upon all people here who are still able. Don't make producing children very expensive. The problem is you have made weddings extremely expensive. Now, if you make weddings extremely expensive, you are going to prevent my children from coming out. You want a family. Only 2 people make a family. Why do you need the mother of 100 million, whatever? Yeah? Just get the 2 people. Once you have got those, maybe you want a ceremony, get the right person to do the ceremony, and a few people. And you want to start a family. 5 years later, we have 4 children. That's it. Yeah, you know me what I did. In exactly 10 years, I produced 6 children. That's why I had time to go to the bush. Because in 10 years, I did my natural duty. Hey, so you need children, you need the population. Why? Because your population is the first market. Anything we do, we are going to need the market. Yeah? You cannot produce things and think you are going to sell outside first. First, make your own market. Whatever you cannot eat in your own economy, then you sell to the rest of Africa and then the rest of the world. So this issue, be careful when they tell you what I'm doing. That's not good, because we need the market, and unfortunately we have not yet learned to produce the market in any other way. We still have to produce them. You are beginning to find ways of producing them, but still you put them in the womb of a woman, isn't it? Even the new technology. So we need the market. All this I'm saying not in an organized manner. I'm just pointing out, and the professionals will help you together the voice of them and things that I see where we are not doing well. Now, after we get children, a market of irresponsible people is an irresponsible market. And responsible people come from responsible homes. This idea that has been put in our heads that they must be pampered. Of course, children must be loved, but there is a difference between being loved and being pampered in a bad way. Now, the elders have become not even servants, but slaves of children. That is not good for the future of your country. It's not good because these people are going to grow up, each one of them thinking the rest of the world must look after me. As we were being brought up, we were told you have to look after the rest of the world. You work to serve the other people. But now, children ways to be served. So it is, as I give you the responsibility to bring forth those children, I'm also requesting that you take the responsibility to tell them what is right and what is wrong. Unfortunately, we have this social media. Social media, that's where our children learn a lot of lies, a lot of bad things, things that you wouldn't like them to see before a certain age. Maybe there may not be much we can do because it has become part of us. But still sit those children down and tell them the dangers of entertaining certain social media platforms. Let a child know that it is their responsibility to keep alive, to see that everybody else in the home is okay. They must look out to see so and so is unhappy. Why? Why is so and so unhappy? But now they don't care about you, even when they find you crying. They don't care. But when they are crying, they want everybody to die. So I said, I'm coming to say to point out things where we are doing badly. And I have already mentioned a little bit the issue of democracy. Democracy is point number 1 in our 15-point program. Point number 1 is democracy. But let us not retain 100% of the democracy that we are being told by other countries, which tell us about democracy but don't practice democracy in their own homes. We are told to do this and that and that and that and that and that. Now, a country or a community without strong leadership is a very vulnerable community. Democracy is good. It gives us a chance. We are all given a chance to participate, a chance to learn, a chance to interact. But in interacting, we have hierarchies. We have a situation here now where the president and the lowest member of our community are at par. That is not even in heaven. A lot of you want to go to heaven. In heaven, God is not the same as the seraphims. I know Bible most of them. But seraph never came to anybody. Kivenkana Patonda. Even in our community, we need to always see in this community here where I am, in this forum where we are seated, who is the senior? Yeah? In the army, it is still there. Sometimes in the police, I hear some policemen, they say, yeah, I'm connected to so and so. You cannot send the commissioner. You cannot talk. A community without hierarchy cannot prosper because it will self-destruct. Because a leader is supposed to spend all his or her time thinking for the community he or she lives. But in order for them to do that, we must also provide certain things. One of them is respect. Because if I feel disrespected, why should I sacrifice my sleep for you? I sacrifice my sleep for you because I think you also you respect me. If I am, I'm not saying that we should not guide our leaders, but how do you guide your leader? Sometimes I see in the papers, I see on TV, and a child is talking to his father as if the father was not even a worker. In my house, even a worker, I address him. Because he's a human being. And for those who believe in the reincarnation and the way we have transformed from animals from what? That the closer you come to the human being, the more advanced you are supposed to be, isn't it? But now, the human being is not respecting its leaders. I have a program that I watch whenever I have time. This one with animals. What do you call it?
Animal Kingdom.
Animal Kingdom. That one. When you look at them, the way they appoint their leaders,
They have structures.
they have structures. Eh? When men, because they are the men are still leaders, most of them, except some monkeys. Most of them, the leaders are men. And when the rules are, when men are fighting for leadership, for us, we are seated here to look, my next group of children, who should be their father? You don't want a weakling to be your father. When you are looking for a father of your children, you must look for a father first who will protect you and the children. Secondly, who will give you good genes that will prolong the life of your children. That's what women in the animal kingdom do. And once the battle is over and the leadership has been established, the other man just walks away. You understand?
Yes.
Isn't that the fact?
True.
They just walk away because the vote has been cast. He walks away and he goes. There was one species where I saw when the fight happens in winter. After the fight, they give that loser a chance to be with them during the winter. At the end of the winter, as the other animals go to do their usual things, this one must walk away because he can be trouble causing. We need to have a hierarchy, even in our politics. We need to respect ourselves, even in our families. If you are the mother and you don't respect the father, do you expect your children? Because the children are ours, women, isn't it? They usually look at what mommy does. If mommy doesn't like something, the chances of children liking it are very slim. If they think mommy loves daddy, they will love daddy very much. They think mommy doesn't love daddy, either they will leave mommy completely and go with daddy, or they will say, this daddy is not good, mommy said so. Proof, mommy said. Yes. So respect. Don't expect children to respect you when you were abusing the LC1 chairman in front of the council. They saw you. Why do you want them to respect you? So respect is one area where we have gone sick, where I pray that this clinic will help us to recover. Let us recover. It's not African, it's not in our African norms to look down on elders. A young man of 20 years goes on radio and uses very, very bad words on the head of state. So please, as we work, let us put each other in place. If you don't want your boss, what do you do? Wait for elections. Because if you say that your vote was cheated, like I hear every day, if somebody is able to cheat so that he gets 60% or 50%, and you get 30, it means that person is superior. I'm not saying cheating is good, but I'm saying if you are given the same platform and somebody is able to cheat to the extent of having 60% and the rest of you divide 40%, it means this is a superior either organization or leader. Sometimes I hear party leaders saying we need money to organize our parties. Yes, of course. If you want to organize your party, it needs money. Who should provide money for your party? This very kind government of NRM has provided something, but that's not enough. The responsibility of providing money for the party is the responsibility of party members. If you have party members who cannot mobilize funds to run the party, you don't have a party. Because who gave NRM funds? Even the guns we had to go and get them from government. They didn't donate them to us. We got guns by some means. Next time I'll come, we discuss how we got guns. But they were not donated to us. No. But to get guns from a sitting government, you don't get it seated like this. You have to use your brain, you have to use your physical strength. You have to trust each other. Because trust is another thing that we have lost. Yeah? When they say so and so should be our treasurer, people say, we are just sending them. He's going to eat our money. Let's trust each other. But also let us attract trust. Because if you don't attract trust, people will definitely lose trust in you. So that's another area which we need to look at as leaders. You are a leader wherever you are. Are you worthy of this respect that I am calling upon people to give you? Because before I respect you, I need to see that you are respectable. That it is possible for me to call upon the inner person in me to respect you. But if you come and walk naked, ladies, if you come and walk naked, no wonder the food is no longer growing well. Why should I respect you? So give me reason to respect you, or deny me reason to disrespect you. Deny me reason not to trust you. Make sure that I can trust you. Even where I was feeling uncomfortable, call me and tell me this happened because of this and this and this. That it wasn't for bad cause. So and this respect and trust is one of the reasons we cannot advance economically, is because we cannot get together, we cannot put our funds together. If we had that trust, we would be able to put our funds together. Yes, I do. So if the trust. If we trust each other, because most businesses, most economic programs need a lot of money to start, need good leadership. If we don't trust each other, we cannot put our money together. And if we don't put our money together, you know some things I don't know how to put in English. Yeah? When you are eating katogo, I don't know who knows katogo. All of you know. When we are eating katogo, we don't pick here and pick there and pick there. No. Katogo, you pick here. If we don't put our money together to do business together, not only Ugandans, but Africans, if we don't build our roads together, our corridors together, we shall perish one by one. Bombs have just been here. I hear today a bomb was where? Somalia. The other day bomb was where? Why when bombs start going off, they go off in various countries in Africa? It means somebody is organizing these bombs, say this now season to harvest Africa. When they see a government that is beginning to have a grip on the economy, they now begin to destabilize it. Like Ethiopia, it had become, it had overcome some of the teething problems. But now we see. And in all that, they use the youth. I know we're all mobilized when we were youth. For us, we were mobilized by the enemy. I tell you that I've never seen Museveni in my house or in my school or in my work coming to tell me, come let us go and fight. I am the one who said enough is enough. I'm going to fight. I'll leave my children there. They are there. One of them is there. Sometimes they say bad words against us that we spoil their child. Yes, but if we had it, they would not be here. They would have died of many things. Because there was a time when somebody would just come in the house and kill anybody who came out, and nothing would happen. Today, at least you go to police. Yeah? People complain the police is corrupt. Yes, but at least you can go there and not be arrested there. There was a time when you went to report a policeman, yeah, at the police post. You never came back. You never came back. I hear some people say, if you manage, we shall also manage. It's not like that. It's not like that, because in order to manage to unseat a sitting government, you must mobilize the population on things that you can say today and tomorrow. But if you mobilize me on something that is likely to not to be there in a few days' time, I obviously know that you are telling me lies. If you tell me you are going to improve my situation by reducing my taxes, and then you do very good roads, and then you take children to school free of charge, and there is medicine in the hospital, and everything is well, but the taxes have been eliminated, then I begin to think, how are you going to raise that? Yeah? Yes, you are beginning now to make me lose my trust in you. You are mobilizing me, but you are mobilizing me on lies, and lies will eventually wash away, and I will see you naked. You understand? So you need to trust each other, to invest together as Africans. For me, I have colleagues, most of them young people. We have taken it upon ourselves to build a value corridor across Africa. From the Indian Ocean, we are the Atlantic Ocean. It is not an easy thing. We've been at it for the last over 20 years, but we are moving. As of now, we have been accepted by various governments, African governments. We have been accepted by East African community. We have been accepted by AU. They have all invited us and we presented to them and they see that our project is a good project. But you go and tell a Ugandan, let me not talk about other African countries, come and invest in that very good venture. They will say, Mugambe government, they can say, but you pay taxes to government. No, states are trying to see you. Now, you are not paying taxes, but everything you throw to government. How is government going to get money? Some of the things we need to take on. For us, we think we are building this Tobacco Trans-African Value Corridor. With it, there will be various towns, and those towns will be, we are trying to convince governments that they become free trade zones, free trade areas, so that we can benefit. We are going to ensure that roads accompany that rail, and these are fast rails. We are not going through what the first world has gone through. Where they have made mistakes and we see them, we shall skip the mistakes and go to where they are now. Because why? Those people have printed more money than they can use. They want to use that money to lend it to us. Now we are refusing to borrow. I wish all governments could refuse to borrow. And we say, if you want to come to work in Uganda, come, let's be partners. I'm building a railway line here. I'm building this road. I'm building this town. I'm building this school. I'm building that, whatever. Come and be my partner. Because for you, you can no longer put a new road. Your country is full of roads. The only place you can invest as a road builder is in my what? My country. If you want your money to work, bring it, invest it. Don't lend it to me. If you do a good job, we all benefit. You take your profit. I have no debt. I leave no debt for my children and my grandchildren. This is what we are doing in Tobacco. And if I finish, I want to call upon you. If you want to hear more about Tobacco, I can call, because me, I'm just, I'm paid to talk. I use my mouth. But I know a person who can come and tell you about Tobacco, the advantages, how to join, how to what, how to protect yourself. That information is there. This politics which we are preaching will only succeed if our people in Africa have something to eat, if we have shared prosperity. But if we continue investing alone, me alone, my family only, we can't manage. These guys will finish us. They are out to finish us. That we are here is not because they want. We are here because we refuse to go, and I want you to refuse to go. But if we don't do something about the economy, we are going to go. We are going to go. Because there will come a time when we are the only one who still have a central bank. Don't you see we are moving out of central bank very soon? Everybody is building Bitcoin, what? You understand? We need to move with the world. And this I put to the professionals. Don't keep your profession and keep them in your head. Because in the end, we buried them with you. So while you are still here, put it out in a language that we can understand, so that we can put to practice what you learned in the universities. We need to work together. The civil service, the business people, the government, the politicians, we need to work together. Right now, politicians don't want to listen to certain things. Civil servants don't want to leave the 1910, what do we call them? Standing orders. We need to revise things. We need to work together. We need to welcome new ideas. If I say I have a new idea, Mr. Minister, even if you think it's going to be stupid, listen to it. maybe there is one thing that can help you solve a problem in something else. Maybe the whole of it is not good, but when I have put it to you, get somebody who is an expert in this to come and make my idea workable and acceptable. So as I finish, I need to congratulate the National Resistance Movement for being able to welcome all people, weak and strong. The strong are welcome, and the weak are welcome, and the busy, because the only reason women were put where they were is not because they were weak, but because they were too busy to fight other wars. We are too busy protecting, okay, and making sure that these guys eat. That we don't have time for other things, politics. But now Ugandan women know that there is time for the family, there is also time for politics. Because if we don't go where the rules are made, we shall be left out. But the other thing that has happened, maybe I should mention it here, is that some of us have gone to the politics and we have forgotten the what? The family. And as I started, if we don't have the family, we don't have the market. You understand? So we need to take care of the market. We need to take care of the politics. We need to take care of the home, because it is the field where we plant our new product, so that we always have a vibrant market. Because if you look at me, the other day was my birthday, so I bought myself a dress, the first one in the year. I'm a bad market. Yeah? The reason is because the wardrobe is full of dresses of 20 years. But the person of 20 years will buy a dress every month. She's a good market. We must continue replenishing the market. I started with that, and I'm ending with that. Please replenish the market. We have done our part. Do your part.
Asante sana. Ongeza tena. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me first welcome and recognize, or recognize and welcome in our midst, the Right Honorable Secretary General of NRM, Right Honorable Richard. Mama had said he was attending IPOD meeting, and the reason for his late coming, but he is here. In our midst, we have the man of the media, the man who has perfected communication in this party with his other adversaries or crime preventers, whatever you call them, but they have done very well. Honorable Emmanuel Lumala Dobo Mukedi. I just came in because if he was here, he would have guided us better. But of course, he left a lieutenant who guided us and did not time you. The lieutenant there is Rogers Murindo. He did not time you. And I had to whisper to him that Mama can talk the whole day. You don't know. Now, members, you've been listening to a presentation which has an academic touch. First of all, Mama has given you the first bit of the women before emancipation. Very briefly, she said she doesn't want to enter the history of it, but she entered the history of it. The women were for the kitchen. The women were for the bedroom. The women were not supposed to be seen quickly. They should stay away. Then NRM comes, Mama has given the irony that the women are now out of the kitchen. The emancipation of women is what she said, women are now here. You must know their population, you must know their activities, you must know they have a right to live. And said NRM recognized women, recognized the youth, and very soon, very recently, recognized the elders. That is a trajectory, a presentation trajectory, which gives the background to the paper, she gave the middle of the paper, and she moved in to the core of the paper. I don't know whether there are students of philosophy here, apart from the Right Honorable Secretary General and Lumala. If you read the Aristotelian model of society, that's where she was. Aristotle wrote in 427 BC that the family is the most important unit for the development of a community. Because once families are stable, the villages are stable, the community is stable, the whole state will be stable. And he was writing in contrary to Plato, 384 BC. Plato had said, if you are born a son of a peasant, you must die a peasant. You know, before NRM came. You peasants, what do you have to do? You are cattle keepers. Keep your cattle. What business do you have with ruling Uganda? That was Plato practiced in Uganda. Now, these people came from the bush. They came up with what they called career open to talents. You might be a tango doi from a peasant family, but let's allow you to show your talent and you grow. Now there's room for the youth to grow, room for the women to emancipate and empower, room for the elders. That is how the paper was lined. And she didn't write this paper. You realize she has taken 1 hour and 15 minutes presenting a sequential without writing. Can't you thank her for that? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm happy to have shared a session of a real combatant. Combatant by practice, a combatant by being here, and a combatant by presentation. Mama, I want to thank you on behalf and invite the young people to react. Even before you react, she gave you direction that react towards the economy. Did you hear that? Can you beef up my paper on the economy? I hope you are listening. React about the social issue, the population factor, how to fill the country and make a market. React in some line. She has already guided you. So I want to call for very brief and the Secretary General will say something first because she has another meeting. I thought she'd say it later.
Sorry, Doctor, I have some visitors that I have to go and meet, and the meeting might take a little long. Allow me to thank our mama and welcome her to the party head office. I don't know when you were last year. Many of these young people might not be knowing you well. She's one of the original combatants that we have in our archive of the revolution. I think she's one of those who started the women's wing of the NRA during the Bush War. And she was the director of mobilization at the movement secretariat. So she's a very historical person and a very historical resource. And that is why she would speak without any note. I just wanted to say a few things before I leave because I'm having a meeting. That she talked about population. I want to pick from where I started following her. The contrast between we in Africa and the West is that we look at population from the Western model at the moment. That fewer we are, the better we should be. Why? Because we borrow money. Why? Because we are funded by the donors. We are supported by the donors. And therefore, for them to keep supporting you, they need to control and maintain your population. But if you look at the biggest world economies now that we pride in, China, for example, the population of China, who can guess? He's saying 1.3, but it's slightly above that. The population of India. You know the population of India? Now, these two, now let me tell you the irony in international relations. These two big economies are the centers of the war between socialism and capitalism. Are you aware that the socialists have controlled the Chinese market and the capitalists would like to control the Indian market? And that is why when you see the alliances of the world, most capitalist alliances are geared towards promoting India, and most socialist alliances are geared towards promoting China. Why? Because these populations are a big market to their economies. And everybody is looking to that. Africa, if you look at the population of Africa, all the countries of Africa combined, who can guess the population of Africa? 1.1 or 1.2 billion, isn't it? But Africa is completely broken down into small pieces and parts. And that is where the president keeps talking of regional integration, African markets, African, because that is the hope for the future. Are we together? And she brought it in her own style. And that is why the chairman, Professor Tanga, said we talk about the economy. We link our presentation to the economy. She talks something in a way which is a little more philosophical. Eating katogo. You get it? And making it very, very interesting to hear. But in that, she's talking to you about the African methods of education and skills, the African lifestyle, the African respect, the African way of life. Combine all that together. How elders are respected in Africa. How elders are listened to. How we educate our children by the fireplace. How a child traditionally educated can even be much more successful in the capitalist market than he or she who has gone through the formal education. Are you aware? That is what she was communicating. Formal education cannot necessarily give you that guarantee in success. You need to combine with the traditional wisdom and skills that comes with the respect. First, respecting yourself. Second, respecting your families, your elders, and your neighbors. I don't know whether you're combining all this. The issue of democracy she talked about, but what again triggered me was when she talked of understanding what you're going in for. And then she made a narrative that people say, since they succeeded with the struggle, they can also succeed. Others can also succeed. Times are different, the terrains are different, the interests are different. Before President Museveni went even to the bush, he had already led the struggle for about 20 years without looking for going to state power. When you read his books, he will start telling you that he became a mobilizer, a community educator in the early 60s. When did Museveni come to power? 86. So from 61, 62 to 86, how many years were those? And he worked with all those governments. And he was seeing all their mistakes. And he was correcting them while he was inside. Until he reached a point that he realized they could not be corrected anymore. Now here, we have young people, you know their story. 2-3 days you're jumping and you think you can. It's deeper than you think. It's deeper than they think. This society that they think they can mobilize, hoye, and they vote for them, is much more complex than they think. That is what she's communicating. A political party should survive from its members. You heard about that? You have to mobilize resources from your members. But now here in the current parties that we have, including NRM, we rely on demanding, give us. Members no longer have responsibilities of giving to their parties. You go for a meeting, how much are we going to be paid for this? Even local governance is becoming complicated because even those who are charged with the responsibility to attend meetings, as per their offices, they ask for, and it becomes very difficult. And that is what she's saying. That nobody mobilized her to go to the bush. She got up and went on her own. Were you listening to that? Just like I would say, nobody mobilized you to join NRM. You came on your own because you believe in what they fought for. And you want to uphold that principles that they fought for. And at that note, I need to thank our visitors who are in these wonderful t-shirts. You might stand up for recognition. They are called recessi saloon operators. Am I correct? Recessi saloon operators. These are their national association. Now, these, please, you can sit down. These are young people who are in the market, they're in the private sector, those sectors that our president keeps talking about. They are educated, they have degrees, they have diplomas, but they're not disturbing anybody for what? Jobs. If these ones can speak to us who are seated here, you will find you who is earning a salary every month, you have a lot of capital. If only you can invest the way they're investing, their minimum capital to come up with what they have. Sacrifice. The others, I think Dr. Tanga can wrap it up with for you very well. The issue of the economy, which is another subject, we shall come and unpack them for you. I conclude by emphasizing the issue of emancipation of the women, the youth, the elderly, the persons with disabilities, and the rest of the vulnerable people in our society. That the NRM government has given each of these categories of people positions in the National Assembly, including the elderly persons now. They're even in cabinet. So our government's platform is shared by all the vulnerable groups of our society. That their voices are now heard. Actually, the women might even be more in leadership than the men. There are more, even in population. That should tell you. Lastly, in my culture, when you have a village assembly like this, the last person who will speak in such a meeting will be a woman. And not any other woman, will be a woman of substance or of age. She will be the last to speak. And when they sit in meetings, you don't think they are not hearing or listening to what you're saying. They will listen to each and everything. But before the meeting is adjourned, such a lady is asked for her opinion of what was being discussed. And whatever she says will be final. That is how Africans used to respect the women. But also our mother, our daughters these days, they have a problem. Yes, you have talked about it. This issue of emancipation. That because now women are equal with the men and all that, and therefore, there are certain things. She talked to you about the animal kingdom. I don't know whether you follow that. So I will request to end here. Thank you so much. And thank you for giving us those wisdoms. Could we clap for the Secretary General? Secretary General, allow me to recognize before you go that we have 10,786 online viewers. Secretary General has made my day. He has done the summary. I don't need to spoil it. But if you are listening to these local examples, I wish I knew a lot of Uganda. I would have allowed some of these things to be presented in Uganda. Especially respect.
NRM people, there's lack of respect at times. And we don't counter the people who don't respect us. Honorable Manuel, you told me to go to TV one time. I went there and met Semuju Nganda in NBS. Semuju simply said, how? Why is it Tanga? Then respect came in and we discussed very nicely. Not the same Uju you were watching. But NRM had been there before and was saying, Tanga, he's saying Museveni today, tomorrow, 26 and beyond. And say, Tanga wants a job. Hey, he wants his contract. Contracts are renewed on performance indicators. I'm from a university. There must be performance indicators to be given that you did this, and the contract is renewed. Now, if you think by saying what SEC endorsed in Ichobe, SEC in Ichobe endorsed President Museveni as a candidate for 2026 and beyond. Unless SEC goes back and says no, me, a member of SEC and the party, I have no other candidate. And once we have that stability at the top, then the party remains stable. A party where there's friction for leadership at the top, if this has fizzled out. Because they fought, Noop was just listening. Noop has told the people. DP was fighting Mao. DP fought, where are the DP members? They are all in Noop. Those are examples that our stability at the top and the SEC makes us a very resourceful party. Now, when I say that, oh, Tango, why is he saying? I was only saying what SEC endorsed. And the minutes of SEC are kept by the Secretary General. And that SEC was in Ichobe. I'm a member of SEC and I attended. Did I say anything contrary? And I said it to the right forum, Kayunga leaders. And I'm now saying it to you, NRM, here. Museveni today, Museveni tomorrow, Museveni 2026, and beyond. What is my problem? Okay, you serve me. I have a home in the so I'll go back. That's what she was saying. Respect for our leaders. The Secretary General is here. Hear what he says in 5 minutes. Here, the Secretary General is rounding up what he said in 5 minutes. That's the resourceful. Here is normal. Sleeping in radios, talking to people in Butaleja. You find the man is in Mbale. He passes Tororo East FM. He comes one day. Honorable Dobo will traverse 7 radios. Aren't you there? Aren't you alive? Can't you tell them the truth? That I don't, Shagule. I can't deny that. But for president, me, Tango Doi, to endorse him, me, I'm a mobilizer. I can mobilize and fight. But Mama has told us, we go to them slowly. 4 questions now. Direct. And if the questions are going to be answered, any of you, I can pick any of you to answer. Because I want students to listen.
Even somebody can ask you,
yes. Be free. I'll give the first there, the second, the third, and the lady this way. First, the lady. Yes, the lady behind. Where's the microphone? Oh, there's another lady there. Make sure we know your name. And then where you're coming from and the question.
Thank you so much, Protocol Observe. My name is Patrick Odonkara, NRM Chairperson, Delhi University. Mama, thank you so much for your presentation. I was so touched when you tackle the population. Now, this is my question. Whether all of us or even to the Ministry of Health. Why I'm saying this because when you go back to the village at the moment, or any government hospital or private sector, even young ladies who has not yet produced a kid is going to a family planning. But the family planning, I would like to know, how did it really come into Uganda? And yet it is the one affecting us. You've been married, like today, in the next week, you need to get a kid. But the lady said that I really still have the family planning system in me for 3 years. And it is really, even all the women are living there men who are reading. And these are the things that even kids are not being produced, concentrated kids like the way you see. They are normal. If Joshua, as Secretary General said, that because sometimes we need funding, then this is one of the things that the donors that must be excluded, the family planning thing. Otherwise, we are really running out of population.
Thank you very much, Patrick.
Another question is,
limit yourself to one, so that we get you the second.
It's okay, thank you.
Thank you.
The last question.
The next.
The last question.
Okay.
Yes, this is to all of us. What are we going to do really to reduce the popularization of our political opponent? It's not now to Honorable Domba alone. It is all of us. We must work to reduce the popularization of our political opponent. Thank you. May God bless you.
He has put it nicely. What are we going to do to reduce the popularity of our opponent? Not they based on lies. What are we going to do?
Thank you very much. My name is Tebu Solomon. I'm a student from Islamic University in Uganda. Sticking to the theme of the presentation, women emancipation since 1986 and beyond. There has been a lot of will by government to emancipate women in this country. We have seen it in the affirmative action ticket. We have seen it in the gender-based policies that have been passed by government, and they have been available. But my concern is that these spaces that have been created by government do not accommodate and absorb all women. How does a peasant woman who is a farmer, who is a vendor on the street, benefit from the current policy that has been put in place by government so that they are also emancipated? So my question is, as a party and as a government, how then do we move and translate this government will to make it more functional such that the common woman also enjoys the fruits and benefit of this emancipation?
Thank you, Solomon. Solomon is asking about the functionality, how the peasant woman will benefit. Next.
Nze sebo ngenda kukyusa mu ndimi. Okusooka ddala mugenda kwewuunya. Amannya gange nze Matovu Osenyasa. Temufaayo nkyatereeza. Munadipe lukulwe. Nze ndi munadipe lukulwe naye okusookera ddala ow'ekitiibwa n'abawuliriza mwenna mukulu Dombo nkulaba nnyo ku TV kyesobola okuwabulamu Oluganda luno mutwala eti. Tugenda ne tujja mu lukiiko nga luno ffenna tetwasoma. Twagalamu ebirowoozo byamwe birungi nnyo naye mubituwamu Luzungu. Nsooka okwebaza Pulezidenti Museveni ekintu eki nti ffe nze kyesibe yandulidde ndi kansala okuva mu Nansana Division mu kyalo Kazo Muganzi Lwazza mu Wakiso District nga kiikirira ekyalo Muganzi Lwazza. Ekyo kyo kibe yanjulidde basebo ne bannyabo. Ensonga lwaki nebaza Pulezidenti Museveni yagamba ng'ogyeko Parliament ne LC5 buli muntu ajjenga bw'akola ki agenda ateeseza abantu. Lwaki mutukako Oluzungu ne mulukuba okuva ku emu paka ku 10? Kati nannyonnyola ki abantu nga bye muŋŋambye sibitegedde. Ngenda kubanyonnyola ki? Maama Njuba nkumanyi nnyo, Oluganda olumanyi bulungi, mbadde mbiwulira. Pulezidenti Museveni agenda agamba nti olwaleero emmotoka zitandike essaawa oluvannyuma lw'ennaku 2 zitambule zivuga abantu zibatwale mu byalo. Abasajja bali mubamanyi ne bajja ne bagamba agambye tubakube ne batukuba emiggo okutufiirako nti Pulezidenti agambye emmotoka teziddamu okukola ki
So that's why those people beat people like an animal. Twagala mutugambe nga musajja Museveni abayoga nti mutambule n'ayogera mu Luganda naye mwe mutukubye Olungereza paka le mwatambuse paka ki kati mutugamba tuze Oluganda nga biri situkoze eki tetubitegedde. So nze nva mu lisesi nga kansala abasajja mu nembalabye olwaleero basebo ne banyabu bana NRM nsaba mbakubire ku ngalo bana lisesi bano nti olwaleero bwe nali program eno bajimbirako nganzi nali omusajja owa Democratic Party era mpagira DP era kwe nawangulira ku nkumbi eyo abanupu baalimu aba NRM baalimu nembakuba nempita bubi nnyo kati olw'ensonga eyo abasajja bwe bakimbeebaza bwe bandaze puroguramu eyo naye nga basika kubanga eriko NRM era nzize wali ntya ne ŋŋamba nti yarabbi ndi mu kifo ekituufu ndabye abasajja nga bambadde bbula kati bantwale nga kakaaba naye Mukama n'aŋŋamba nti saba mu ddiini y'oyingire nyingidde era ntuuse nti ebintu nga bino mutusomesa mumpaakadde mbabuulire lwaki ebintu bye mutusomesa birungi nnyo era birimu enkulaakulana. Bino olwaleero nze nzaalimu omukyala si musiraamu nze ndi musiraamu eno kala twambala nnyambale naye mu birowoozo by'enkulaakulana tulina okutambula nga tuli ki olwaleero abasajja bano bayingira mu kitundu kiki ekya abalisensi nali sibamanyi bwe bayingira mu kitundu kyange ekyageza oteekawo endi kwota kuba nalabye nti abakyala okuva 86 n'abaana abaliko obulemu okuva 86 naye amazima gali nti nze mbadde sirabanga buyambi bwonna mu kitundu ekyo naye abasajja bano bwe bazze ne balaba nti ndi kansala ne bansomesa ne bagamba nti omusajja olwaleero tuyamba abalema tuyamba kabennamagoye tuyamba abeekulula bamuzibe nagambye ate bano banyongedde akalulu akalala.
Thank you.
So nebaza olwaleero Mukama wange akaliriza nti abasajja bano bakoze omulimu waffe riseesi okutambula mu naasana wonna okutambula mu Wakiso wonna okutambuza ng'abana NRM n'abakivunaanibwako mutuyambe mu kibiina kye nayingidde tutambuze enjiri osanga mutunayipruvinga ne tulaba NRM namwe nemuddamatiko nga luli neyanziza nnyo neyanziza
webale nnyo webale ddala engalo the lady. Yes, let's give that lady a chance. And you are free to use any language, even in Jap.
My name is Basira Agnes. I will use English because I know most of you in the audience understand English. I am the communications officer for the Secretary General and the lawyer of the professions, and I just joined the NRM Secretary just 3 months ago. Mine is a question to, first of all, thank the Honorable Major, yes, Grandma, for teaching us a lot about the women emancipation right from 1986. I love to see a lady come to teach us because it's the first one ever since this started. Mine is a question on a balance. I would like to get a snippet on how to balance the fruits of emancipation that we're getting from this regime and how to be such disciplinarians in our families. You know, you ladies, you mothers of ours have still become disciplinarians. I feel like it's because you have gotten a grooming on both emancipation and being cultured. So mine is to draw a line and have a balance, an interlink between how to become a woman who is emancipated and still learned. I don't know if you get my question.
Very good, very good. May I get one person, then I go online? Yes, please.
Thank you very much, moderator.
Yes, the other lady will come.
My name is Edward Kabongo. I am coming from Chenjejo District Council. I've got a question. It is sent to me by Honorable Raphael Bitamazire from Madam Major Gertrude Njuba. It's a question from Honorable Raphael Bitamazire. He's asking, when are you writing your book?
And the lady, please.
Thank you very much. I'm called Namakana Christine. I'm from SECA, NRM Youth and Mission. That's my representation. We came in 2 people here. I'm the 3rd one. My question is about Mama. She has a very good ideology. I've loved it. But I'll mix up the English and Uganda. We are people who grew up in a very funny environment. Too funny that you have seen the opposition party is coming in because it's overtaking the other side. So you look at the scenario where the ghetto president has come in, and the really thing is the way she knew the ideology of the past. Are we really getting the point? The same ideology should come into up to the ghetto life, because when we enter some offices to look at the scenario, we are not given a chance our ghetto until this gentleman came in. But I'm not saying he's going to take over. This ideology is very good, too good. We never knew it exists in NRM. But the real sense is, how is this ideology going to come into ghetto? The many people of youth are around Seka, they're too wild, in discipline, but they will never grow up with discipline. We grew up knowing that if you want to get a single meal, you fight. We operate in a single meal. We operate in a daily earning, whereby you have to give out your body to earn it. So sure, if NRM has such ideology, how is it going to reach Seka, where you see it's the most notorious region? Those children are not opposing that they hate NRM, but they lack the knowledge. So I kind of ask Mama if it can come deep, real deep. Because some of us, one time I was given a chance with my colleague to visit where they're going to work. I was very perturbed. I thought he's taking me to work for something bigger and better. So one time when I went there with a guy, he told me, wait, he left me in a Land Rover of a gentleman who was very rich. Look at a scenario where someone is surviving by going to break a home because of money. But if the ideology is there, really these people are very disciplined. I work in the bus park where I use most notorious people. We change them by making them to become responsible people, but it is not easy. One thing they have in their mind is government at Solao. They dropped us, we abandoned. So look at that and please kindly meet my position and you'll be welcomed if you are acted upon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mary. Some media expert, and it will be the last. Could it be the last for now? Please. Microphone to the SACCO, saloon operator. Be brief.
Neyanziza Dr. Tango Doi, umugenyi waffe, jajja ate maama. Secretariat tubeebaza. Mwami Dombo, I salute you. Mbadde mbuuza Mulindwa oba akuttewa. Mulindwa yadduka mu sports yafa mu Uganda. Ne tumusaba asobole okuteekayo nayo omukono wasobole okutereera. Ladies and gentlemen, bebaziza okujja. Recess eno badde njagala mbaweko ka brief katono about recess. Recess stands for raise investors, save easily, serve importantly. Ba investors bano be baloko kati twatandika mu b'amasaluuni tubasitule. Bwe tumala obasitula basobole okuba nga basevinga bulungi. Bwe bamala okusevinga bulungi kugamba nga ensawo zinywedde baweereze eggwanga. Eyo recess. Ab'amasaluuni tuli bangi. Mu ggwanga lyonna tu-expectinga kuba tuweze miliyoni 2. Naye be tulinawo kati sofa tulinawo 3,000 Uganda yonna tuli mu kukunga bannaffe okuba nga tulina one voice. Tulabe nti abantu bano babeera empowered. Tulina abakyala be bangi mu saluuni. Ate omulamwa gwa leero gwogera ku bakyala ne ba youth n'abalema okuva 1986. Ekyamazima kiri nti 78% mu masaluuni gaffe bakyala. Naye abakyala bano tugenza okutunulira nga tukola survey. Amazima gali nti balekeddwa bbali. Naye tubadde tusaba gavumenti yaffe eno ennungi gye tuweereza. Ate tuli mu kusaba nti tutambulire wamu ne Secretariat y'e NRM. Eyo Ideological Clinic eno etambule ne Research Association mu ggwanga lyonna, tugende nga tusomesa abantu baffe bana b'amasaaluuni kubanga tulina bangi. Tugenda okwetooloola okuvaayo bajja kubanga bonna bakyuse kubanga sofa twembracinga n'aba opposition nga bwe bawulidde sofa tulina councillors 48 be tulina abano DP ne betukoze eki betukyusiza mu kaseera akatono kuba enkulaakulana gye tututeyo from scratch. Chairman waffe abonaabona, chairman mbadde nsaba oyimirireko bakulabe. Asula teyeebase ng'alowooleza saloon industry nti ekulaakulanye etya kubanga yes, abaana bano tulina abaana ba youth balaba nti kubanga it is daily income bajja gye tuli abo from the ghetto. So tusaba platform eno ya saloon mutuyambe tujje tukwatagane nammwe tutambule nammwe kubanga mu kutandika ne January February tugenda kutambula Uganda yonna. Ideological Clinic eno tugitwale tugende nayo tulabe tututuuka ku bantu bano tubakyuse ne sectors bwe zinaalaba nga eya saloon ekyuse nazo tugenda zikyusiza wamu neyanze.
Thank you very, very much. A round of applause, please. You have given us a very good thing to do. May I just read 3 of these, madam? Mama Ngabirano Kasenene says, good afternoon, all NRM party family. Good afternoon. First of all, I want to thank our beloved Secretary General for initiating this discussion of Ideological Clinic, where NRM cadres have got a chance to interact with our own historicals and seniors. Lastly, I want to thank Mama retired Major Gertrude Njuma to be there for Mzee during the Bush War and after NRM captured power. Thanks. Yours sincerely, Ngabirano Joseph, Kasenere Senior NRM Mobilizer, Patron Shambogo University NRM Chapter, and National Coordinator, Uganda NRM Students Association. Short Karamojong says, a very inspirational lecture by an original NRM revolutionary cadre. Thank you, and he's clapping all the way. Another one, Welunga Yusuf. Finally, here I am, all the way from Bali. Thanks the organizers. Welunga Yusuf, Chapter Chairperson, IU NRM, UNICEF President-elect. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me now give the chance to Mama to answer what she can answer, because most of them were compliments and a few were a way forward for us in the Secretariat to push. I want to request Mama now to answer.
Thank you very much, Dr. Adoy. The first question came from Mr. Adolfara, who was wondering where did this family planning thing come from? We almost answered the question. It came because these people want us to remain at a certain number. They don't want us to overwhelm their population. Yeah, you know, these people, they fear also sometimes when the whites and blacks go and get children, keeping them more black than white. So they fear that they are going to experience things if they don't reduce our population. And for us, we continue having 7, 10 children, then 1 or 2. So they had to bring this family planning. Family planning as family planning would be good. But at what level, for what purpose? If you have 8 children and you see that your income is really being overstretched, it is reasonable to use family planning. But to start using family planning before you get your first child is really bad, even for your health. And for your health.
The next one was, how will we reduce the popularity of our opponents?
Okay. The first thing, the first method of reducing the is for us to individually respect ourselves and show that we are worth being respected. Because we can't do this collectively. Well, the first thing is for you, where I work, how are things? How do I treat people? When I find somebody I don't know, they ask them, how do I answer? What's the way you present yourself to the people also wraps on how people think about the party. They know, especially when they know you are a staunch NRM. Whatever you do, NRM is great. So wherever you go, what service you give, be sure that you give a service that will give respect to you and also respect to NRM and Uganda. Sometime back, I don't know whether it's still happening. Ugandans had a bad record of stealing. They had a bad record of stealing towels from hotels. One day, I went to a country. Of course, they know from their record that you are from Uganda. Eh? The person at the counter does not let you go until he gets a report from the room. So what you do alone has put a name on Uganda. Eh? So that any Ugandan now is to be suspected. So the first thing, what do we do? What we do individually, respect yourself, respect others. Don't go out to do outrageous things because we all know what is wrong. You know it is wrong to take a towel which is not yours. You know it is wrong to speak badly to elders. You know it is wrong to beat a child to death. We have even started killing our own children. Yeah? So, first of all, let us be good. Our parents will be good. Our communities will be good. The NRM will be respected. Somebody, I didn't get the name properly, but she was asking, how will the peasant woman?
That was Solomon from IU.
Solomon, yeah. How are we going to ensure that the peasant woman is benefiting? If you look at benefits as being in parliament, being able to go to parliament, it will be difficult for a peasant woman to benefit. Because in parliament, in the language we use, the way we do things, you need a certain level of education. But if you look at the market, you can see women are benefiting, but they need more help. What we are praying for is more help. Why are they many in the areas where it's because they feel safe. They feel that the government is there for them. They can walk at night. You realize that some of the work that women do, they have to get off duty around 10 in the evening, and they walk home. That would not happen if they were not sure that their security was. So they are benefiting, they can benefit more, and the best way now to help them get another step up is to ensure that they are assisted to know how to best invest and to see how to get some money to invest, and then they pay. Yeah, I was saying what I'm doing. Because this is the headquarters of NRM. If I came to a branch, if I came to a branch and I could speak the language, I would be happy to speak the local language. But when we come to the headquarters, the main discussion must be in English to cater for all the people. Yes, because this is the nature of our country. It's a nature of our country that we speak various languages, and we have chosen English to be our Swahili, which we don't know yet. A lot of people don't know Swahili, but because English is being taught from P1, people are more likely to understand English. This one we can work on politically, but it will take time. It cannot be done overnight. But thank you anyway for being DP and also appreciating what NRM is doing. Because the thing is that when you are a different party, you cannot appreciate what the other party is doing. That's it. It's
You are in politics, but there's a family.
there is a family. You want to discipline your child, but you must also respect the child's rights. You can do it. Because when you become a minister, your husband is still your husband. This man is the husband of the minister. When you go home, put your bag down and put your husband. But I also demand that the husband respects you and respects himself for being the husband of a minister. So it's clear on both sides. Yeah? But this idea, kirundi nnyo nti abavubuka baffe tubayigiriza bakwate abaana baabwe babakwateko babanansi naye nina famire egyemmanyi nga mukyalo mbeera atunda n'asalako nagundi olaba omwana gy'alaga eri nagundi abuyita ali eri because the husbands now have lashed this in class. We are exceeding. We want to put them where we are coming from. They will fight back. If we make them reach where we reach, they will fight back. And since they have the muscle, they will not be able to fight. So, what do we do? We love them, we give them food. Once you have those who are more, love them, give them food. Balancing omugambe naye office kabanga neetaaga ssaawa bbiri ate oluusi ebigaana ne ku ssaawa esatu tuba tukyali mu meeting, which happens in politics. Bw'olaba nga takukkiza muganeyo manyita tulikiraawo kutugende ffenna bwe tule mu mmotoka olabe ebigenda nawe tugende ffenna naye naawe bw'ogenda nga bikaseera ogenda na balala ne bw'ofuna chance okumutwalako nga mugenzeeko nga waliwo opportunity mutwaleko anyumirwemu amanye nti nawasa minisita naye ntambula nako ennaku zino amanye nti nawasa minisita nange ntulako mu mmotoka eri abamu tebabakkiriza abakyalakiza bagatulako mu mmotoka kakati bwe mba nga ndi mwami wa minisita njagala okuwulira nange ekyo ndabye nze mwami wa minisita kakati gwe omwami naye ne mugamba obeera omwami wa minisita waliwo byotakala kuba minisita takuga minisita ono bagenda ne bamuwa omukuumi abeerawo emisana n'ekiro omulimu gw'omukuumi wa minisita kulaba nti minisita talina kamukwata fooni bw'oligezaako okumukuba omusajja musirikale ajja kujja kuba yadde gwe mwami kubanga ye taprotectinga geetu aprotectinga minisita kati minisita bw'agira oli omulimu gwe kugira kukuba buli alumya ono kakati gwe maama weegenderere taata weegenderere awo noono omukubi mujja kuya ate ffenna tubeere nga tuli amaka gali respect naye n'abaana baffe wano tebaliwo naye tusobola okubagamba betulabako bw'obanga oli mwana wa minisita tegeera nti olina obuvunaanyizibwa okusinga abaana abalala bonna kubanga yonna gyonogera jagamba oyo omwana gona banyume wanjuba nkiye yabadde yeeyisa atyo kiye egamba erinnya oligiza eki olyonoonye obuvunaanyizibwa bweweekise bungi gyokomye okubeera waggulu oba omwana wa pulezidenti tukusuubira okwala obuvunaanyizibwa kusinga abaana abalala bonna. So buli muntu abeera n'obuvunaanyizibwa obwenkana privileges z'alina. Bwe tuba tukuwa ekitiibwa kingi, tuwe naffe ekitiibwa kingi. Ye balancing. Abasinga obungi mulina amadiini gammwe gye musoma. Amadiini gonna bw'oriducinga mu bigambo bitono kye gasinza kuwa kitiibwa Katonda na kwagala munno. Bw'obeera bw'olina eddiini gy'olimu n'ogibeeramu n'oginnyikiramu, ojja kwesanga weesazinga kiriikiza okurespectinga ne bw'osanga. Kubanga tolina na kukirowoozaako, it's in your nature. So I have a message from my colleague, Emancipation. Yes, but what did Mr. Emancipation want? Oh, to write a book. I've been trying for I don't know how many years. Until these leaders of the movement decided to give me a simpler job. If I'm working on land disputes, how can I write a book? Every day I'm reading books. I'm reading very bad handwriting papers that have been kept for 30, 40, 50 years, very old blood titles. By the time I go home, and you can see how I am. By the time I go home, you can see how I trouble with my mothers there, so that they ensure that I'm okay. So I have some scripts that I pray that God gives me the energy. But what I'm happy in the world, what I'm happy about, what I thank God for, is that we have trained people to take over our positions. Over the years, there are a lot of quarrels, but those quarrels must be there. But I can no longer imagine a Uganda where the women are excluded. Do you think it can happen? Even if so those some things you to be saying the chapter about that. When you must say at least I want to read them everybody one day.
And I think that is the payment.
Yes. This one I request the Secretariat to help me. And maybe we haven't done enough, it's true. But I think you have a program, so that the Secretary will deal with that. But I am very happy to see that the ghetto is represented here. Ekibi nnyo okuwulira abantu baga ti gavumenti yatusuula. Naye oluusi gavumenti omanyi naffe bahistoricals ab'olutalo tugenda ne tugamba nti gavumenti yatusuula. Naye oluusi we expect too much from government. Kubanga oluusi gavumenti etuteerawo obuteezi embeera mw'osobolera okukola osobole okubeerako obulungi. Kati ng'abaalwana bwe banyiiga nti gavumenti ebaleseewo obanga abagaa nti buli lunaku gavumenti ereete emmere egireete ebiwo. Bwe twalwana kweggyako abantu abaali batutta abaali batukola ki ne tukikola ne tufuna eddembe buli omu n'asobola okukola ki y'ayagala. Mbagambye abalina ku kasente mwekwate nze ngende mbaweega omulimayi. Kubanga gavumenti teyina nayo gavumenti bwe tutagiwa tetuwa. Tumala kugiwa n'eryoka egira ki n'eryoka etuwa. Kakati owa ghetto okugamba nti gavumenti yakusuula. Naye naawe gavumenti ekusangewa. Buli gavumenti bajja gy'oli odduka ekusangewa. Naye kakati engeri Muzeedi yateekawo enkolagana n'etuwa ne ba regional officers, ndowooza nti ebintu bijja kwogera biterere. Yeah, any group which is organized is easier to deal with. So I support them. Then who else? The others, I thank you all, those who have sent messages of appreciation. I thank you very much. Now, you those who think we have interacted well, I thank you also for coming, because this time some people are using it to drink. I thank you very much for using it this time. Thank you.
And we applaud Mom again. Allow me to give some few minutes to my senior colleagues. They want to say something. Social media is a watch with the someone from Eston, Dubai, Eston from Abu Dhabi. This ideological clinic is the best initiative. Here in Abu Dhabi, I always interact with different Ugandans who support Loop. Those people only lack knowledge like this form of lecture. I'm sure we can do better and change their mindset. That's from Abu Dhabi. Aggie from Cape Town. Thanks, Professor Tanga, for keeping us alert. You're always an educationist. Yes, yes, let the audience answer. With that, we shall learn more. Let the audience always answer, and with that, we shall learn more. Margaret from Cape Town. Thank you, Margaret, and thank you, Esther. Now, senior colleagues, you may have one or two things to add, please. Honorable Senator. And we must allow women, you know. How do you leave mothers out?
Thank you very much, Honorable Major Njuba Gertrude. I want to tell you this, that it is through your efforts that some of us are here. Most of the women you are seeing, it is through you. Without those good policies, whatever you came with from the bush, that's why you can see many, many women. And the good policies like the 1.5 to the universities, like programs like having community roads, having health centers at Gongorora, having health centers at parishes, even if they are not yet complete, but they are there. And those are the things we are talking about. Somebody was saying, how are the women emancipation going to help the other woman there? Of course, we don't expect that woman to come from that village. She's there, she's not educated, but she needs a road to bring her produce near the road. She needs water. She needs a hospital where she can deliver the child from. She needs peace and the good environment NRM has brought. It makes us better. One man who is my in-law said, I hate the NRM because it has allowed women to go to the market. When you go in the evening in Kampala, you see women with saucepans on top with sigiri and another one at the back of his, a baby at the back. But that is okay. She's making money. When she makes money, the family eats. When the man makes money, he first drinks before he brings some little. And the more the man gets, the more women. So, can we let the women be empowered to have more? And we are very, very grateful with what the Honorable Njuba has brought in this country. Lastly, I wanted also to say on the family planning, because I'm an expert in that. Family planning is very good if you can do it for spacing your children. For if you say you want to produce today, tomorrow, and the other day, the body is gone. But if you do it, because even our great parents used to practice family planning. You would have this baby today, then the man will move away and go to the other mama, stay here for 2 years. Then he comes back to do the needful. At the end of the day, you have your 6, 7 children, and the other one has also made 6, 7 children, and the family is full. So that's what they used to do. So who brought family planning here? It was their time memorial. Then the Indians came here and brought the what? The real artificial methods, but we have our unnatural methods, like the Catholic Church says. We use natural methods, and you produce the children. You want to produce the ones you can be able to look after. You don't produce like a mule, and you start saying, government tuyambe, ekuyambe. You have the brain, you have the hands, you have everything. Why can't you help yourself? Just spacing. Space properly at the age. If you start producing at the age of 20, let me say after school, 23 years, and you're supposed to stop at 45. If you space properly, you'll find yourself at 33 years, you'll produce a few. You'll produce few. You'll not go to 16, but you'll produce like 10. You'll produce like 6 or 8. And that's enough. So that you have also time to look after the children. You also have time to look after your husband. You have to get time to go and do other things, which can develop the home. Thank you very much.
Ajit, this is a day for women.
Thank you so much, Dr. Tango Odoi. Thank you, Mama. Today, I told her earlier that today is a historic day for us at the NRM Secretariat to have our weekly ideological clinics graced by a woman. I've been wondering the past 2 weeks whether we didn't have these powerful NRM women, but today you have given us strength. Thank you so much. I just picked out 2 most important things from your presentation. You talked about respect in a very passionate way, respect for hierarchy, which is a very big problem in Uganda. Now, you elaborated it. I don't want to go into that. I really, really appreciate, and I pray that we have more of that from you. You talked about trust, an element of trust. Why should people trust you? You give them a reason to trust you. And also, you should be able to trust people, but based on a reason that they have given you to trust them. Thank you, Mama, for those very important values you have given us. You talked about, for me, today your discussion was more on the woman. Yes, there was a bit of the PWD, but I learned one thing from me is that when the woman is secure, everybody is safe, everybody is secure. Because the woman thinks about everybody. The woman will think about the elderly, the man, the PWD, the what. A woman, for me, where I come from, because I have so many mothers, about 5. My mothers would eat last. And we have a very big family. They would ensure that everybody has eaten and they eat last. And for me, I used to see that in childhood. I said, hey, but why are these men greedy? Because the men would have their round table, the other section, the youth, then the children up to the, and they eat last. And when something is over, either the sauce, they miss supper or they miss lunch. So this is a woman. So we are very grateful to His Excellency and you people who were with him that ensured that when you come out of the bush, you put all this value to us, to the Ugandans, to see that at least this mother is somewhere. Here at the NRM Secretariat, the top management of NRM is 11 people. But out of the 4 principals, 3 are women. Out of the 4 directors, 2 are women. At the NRM Electoral Commission, out of 3 there's 1 who is a woman. So in the top management, there are 6 women against 5 men. So Dombo can't wrestle us when we decide to be, you know. So thank you, Ma'am. I just wanted to appreciate you, but also appreciate the Secretary General for this initiative to ensure that we are constantly reminded. Some of these things we take for granted. I sat here listening, saying we must respect hierarchy. That hit me. I said, hey, we've always looked at the president. People talk about him, but that is a hierarchy. How do I wake up today and I jump on tables abusing him? These are manners our parents taught us, but we need to be reminded to keep those values. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. A round of applause again. And tell me, woman, but I'm getting it back to the owner. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to request you to thank Mama again. You know, my village, my zone is called Koi Zone, Kisoko. Koi. After elections, this last election, some men decided to start beating women who voted NRM. I can tell you, there's a night I helped police arrest 11 men. And who came for the men the next day? The 11 women. And they said, Dr. Tanga, we shall not come to beg you for salt every day. Even when I see them coming and we apportion work and they do and they get paid, they said we want our men back. And then the men were saying, you are the one destroying our homes. We say, no. But what we do, before they collect them, we cane them. Rio Kiboko. Rio Kiboko. My mother died at 97. She's making 1 year on the 4th December. My mind is all on how I should pray and make sure my mother rests in peace. You have your mother and you're beating your mother. You come back drunk, you beat your mother. The family model she has emphasized. Not all these children who are badly behaved because of anything. Because the family is not for them. The mothers have left the men. The men are drunk. They've left them to care for the children and they're not cared. He will give you a history of Butaleja one day. Because we are just a stone's throw away. We are the same people. Ladies and gentlemen, when we have mothers in the movement, this is a time for us to request for mothers to come and talk to us. I know Honorable Dombo and the Secretary General are doing all their best. And we must thank the Secretary General for this initiative. I now want to hand over to the man in charge of communication to give us the next in line. Otherwise, thank you very much for making me a good teacher who did not shout. Keep quiet.
Anafe obude bugenze naye mbadde kyenjagala okubagamba naye mbadde tubagamba olulala. Erinnya lyange ze Emmanuel Lumala Dombo. Erinnya lya Lumala tulijja mu famire ya Njuba. Taata wange yali house boy ng'akolera omwawule gwe bayitanga Beekabye mu myaka gya 3. Reverend Beekabye bwe yafa ne bamuziika e Mbale ku Lutiko. Namwandu yagamba nti ani gwe ngenda naye e Buganda. My father was called Hamala n'agamba nti nze ngenda. Batambula n'ebigere okuva e Mbale ne bajja Kisebe ky'Abawule Enangabo era ne bamuteeka mu maka ga Reverend Njuba. Reverend Njuba was the boss for my father. And Reverend Njuba named my father Lumala. Tata wange yali house boy ku maka ga Reverend Enjuba naye nga sente ze yafunanga nga house boy nga yeesasulira fees okusoma era taata yafa nga musomesa ali payroll ya gavumenti. Naye myaka gya 3 Reverend Enjuba yalina omukyala n'afa. N'alyoka awasa omukyala omulala yazaala mwami Enjuba. Bwe baali bagenda okwana bwe bazaala mwami Enjuba onalena ng'ali mu ddwaliro Emmengo Nsambya, taata wange yavuga emmere ku gaali okuva gye baali era yaggwa olunaku olwo n'afuna eddwa. Honorable Enjuba lwe yajjanga eka kagambye njagala kulaba ku nkovu eyo gye wafuna olunaku lwe banzaala nga ndi mu ddwaliro. Taata wange wayita okugenda ekyokutaano, omusaala gwe yafuna gwali tegumumala. Yeewola siringi 10 okuva ewa Reverend Enjuba n'agenda asasula n'amala okusoma n'afuna omulimu ng'omusomesa. Yavuga nti ndi kusasula nga nfunye omulimu naye Reverend Enjuba n'afa. Bwe nagenda mu Parliament mu mwaka gwa 96 taata wange yatuwa ente enume n'aga nti ente eyo mugitunde ensimbi ze mujjamu muzitwalire Honorable Enjuba musasule siringi 10 Reverend Enjuba ze yampola okunfuula kikyendi. Twatunda ente eyo netugulirako ebyamakulu ebirala netubireeta mu mmotoka netunegenda paka ewa Honorable Enjuba office ya insurance nga taata agenze okusasula ebbanja yeyeewola ku Reverend Enjuba over 50 years. Obwo bwe bwesigwa era bwe buweereza. Kakati ndi wano okubeera n'Electoral Enjuba era kuzeyi we yafa about 10 years ago. Bamuziika 28 yafa yesterday 24th November. That's when my father died. Twali n'Honorable Enjuba mu ddwaliro Talejja era nga muzeyi tanafa bwe yajjanga e Kampala Honorable Enjuba yajjanga n'amugjayo kubanga ye muntu yekka yali omulamu ku nsi eri abadde ne taata we ekiseera ekiwanvu ng'ayinza okumunyumiza ku bulamu bwa taata we. Eyo y'ensi gye tutambuliramu. Bw'okolagana n'abantu tomanya ddi na ddi olisisinkana omuntu singa Reverend Enjuba teyakola ekyo Honorable Enjuba nandimusanzeewa. Njagala kwebaza Christine agenze. Christine njagala kwebaza okuva mu ghetto ne Mwami Hassan. Mwami Hassan senja kwagala okukozesa mu program zange nga tukola mobilization. Ojo oyogere byolaba. Twabo byogedde awo tovumye DP tovumye NRM naye yogedde amazima agali mu ggwanga. Mwami Hassan enamba y'esimu njirina neya Christine tujja kwagala kutuula n'emukyala Senyinde akulira mobilization twongere okuteeka wamu tuzimbe eggwanga lyaffe. Kandi ezitwawula eza yero eza redi eza green kure damu ni moja kwenda omusayi kutya kubu bwogera mu ddwaliro ne losaba omusayi omanya gye gukodde bayinza kuteeka mu NRM ng'oli wanu. Kakati njagala kubeebaza. I want to thank everybody. I wanted to give that story to simplify, but I want to tell you that you are going to, with the support of the Secretary General, going to do a lot in order to give us support. I want to thank the Honorable Historical for the message, for the good presentation, and I know time will come and we invite you again. With those few remarks on behalf of the Secretary General, we want to wind up this meeting and thank Dr. Tango Doi for being the professor you are.
Tomorrow,